see if this is working, because I don't know if this is working. Do I need to add an audio channel for that? I might need to add an audio channel for that. Because you should be able to hear this. How do I add another source? That's a very fair argument. Let me see if this can hear it. I'm trying to see if the audio is working. I'm just going to do plot. Okay. Oh my god, no. I can hear an echo. Oh no. Okay, so it doesn't sound like there's audio. How do I add audio? There's desktop audio, but is there the fucking game capture audio? Hi, Jira. Well, it's got that, but it's not playing at the playing game noise. And that's the whole point, is to get the playing game noises. Do you remember how we did this? Because I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm looking through that. Remove that. Yeah, because I already have one. It says that like desktop audio is being captured, but yeah, don't worry. It was because there's an overlay. Let's put what's going through the TV. Maybe that will help. Okay. Now if I pull this up, you show me in the chat if it's working. If it sounds alright. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's way too far. Still no sound? Shit. God. Oh, thank God it's just you here. And not anyone else. Pick up the mic video capture device. How do I add another one of these sources? anything. Yeah, it's just the sound of planes. Can you hear the sound of planes?
Monarch and Comic, you're the only mercenary pilots on base at the moment, so this is your mission.
I can hear that. Hell yeah.
A few hours ago, the remnants of Cascadia's Coast Guard was able to board and raid a Federation battleship, which ran a little too close to Cascadia's northern.
And now we can do it. Now we can play the game. Thank God. I figured it out. Ah. Alright, and I muted me so I don't have to fucking hear an echo. Nope, turn that down. Because I don't want to, when I turn the volume on for anything else, for it to be like... Alright. We're going to just do this on normal, because this is for plot. I'm not here to show off, I am here to allow people to experience Project Wingman. Because I fucking love this game so much. This game deserves awards. This game is an honorary Ace Combat game. Not to say that like Ace Combat is the only definitive. Oh, is it because I'm off to the side a little? The camera box. Oh. Are the subtitles at the bottom or the top? I can also make my picture a bit smaller. We'll see. Because if nothing else, I will just swap over while this is going. Because I've seen this briefing screen, this will be the third time.
Our contract with this backwater place is just about to come.
And we'll just shrink this just a smidgy. Maybe top right. Yeah, it's because I exited out of the thing.
Confirmed the location of the Burlock Privateer headquarters off the coast on the southwestern edge of the Jesta Island chain. They're a mercenary group like us who, unfortunately, have turned outright piracy. According to surveillance data, we have determined that they are the culprit of the recent high-profile hijacking of the Federation-registered cargo ship May Lynx. The May Lynx is supposedly carrying volatile cargo belonging to the Federation's Department of Global Energy and Sustainability Office. Nothing specific from the Federation contact about the cargo, however, our orders are to retrieve it if possible, or to neutralize it if we can't. Attempts to negotiate for it have turned up with nothing, so we're going in.
Flight simulators, if you like Ace Combat, you will like this
game. The island from the south, along with support and establish control
over the area.
It
is distinct enough to be its own game. There are qualities about it that are
any surrounding
better,
anti-air and resistance on the island.
And there are qualities about it that aren't quite as polished
for our operator group Ronin to ascertain the cargo.
Works.
Once Ronin lands, maintain air superiority until the next stage of the operation
I'll let the game
is determined.
Speak for itself.
Be aware that the Burlocks have other Merc pilots on tap, so enemy reinforcements could be a factor.
Normally, we'd stay out of contact with any Federation-adjacent taskings. But this is the last thing we need to do for our current contract, so I'll let it slide. 2 birds with 1 stone. Easy enough, right?
Sure.
Now get to work. Dismissed.
Alright. I'm not going to make a new save file, because, I still haven't completed the hangar in this game. So, by the way, if anyone is ever confused about what's going on, there is an encyclopedia that tells you everything. Everything. So if you ever feel like you've lost track of this whole new universe, and like they start dropping terms and stuff that like anyone in the universe would know, and you feel lost, they cover that, as opposed to, you know, Ace Combat needing to put out a whole ass book. Did I back out the wrong way? I think I backed out the wrong way. Yeah, I did. Well, we just watched all that. 400 years, you know, after a calamity happened. I thought I hit like go, but I must have hit return. Yeah, let's start mission. There we go. I'm gonna use the F-18, I believe? No. The MiG-29. And you. You get to pick colors. Yeah. Main critique I gotta give this game is that you'll notice that the audio mixing is not like the greatest, and so they put way too much radio static over the lines, and so if you don't get the chance to look at the subtitles, because let's say you're trying to dodge a fucking bullet or a missile, then you don't understand what people are saying. Also because I think there is a like novice pilot like control scheme.
Get on the clock.
No, I'm going pilot assist. So we're gonna get some wild flight.
Just about, Diplomat. Hitman 1, take your flight on this vector until you start to see targets on the IFF. You are free to engage. Lead the way, Monarch. Alcon, we're engaged. Rack them up and knock them down. Get the speedboats rolling. We have attackers inbound. How the hell did we piss off? This is missile away. Galaxy removing.
Fuck your booty.
Don't sweat it, Ronan. Hitman is cleaning them up now.
Oh, you guys don't need to see the score.
Radar lock, take them down.
There we go. God, this game's fun. Do you remember who the musician is? It's like Jose Escalante or something?
You're in gun range. Missile away, missile away.
Okay. Fantastic composer. The music's phenomenal. Oops.
Watch them fly. Hitman 1 within gun range.
Jose Pablo. Yep, I was close, but not right. Yeah. If you get the opportunity, I recommend buying the soundtrack. It is, yeah, it's good.
Monarch ready to fire. I'm moving to engage. I've lost engine power.
What's left? Where are we looking?
flashing
north.
mercenary IFFs. Green light to engage. Defenses are clear. Ronan, move in. Copy all.
Hello.
Drop the rope. In and out real quick. Looks like everyone's scattering. Hitman.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone noticed, but this game gives you a lot more options for like outfitting your plane. Like the directional pad allows you to pick up to 3 special weapons, which is incredible. There's a choice between flares and AOA, which is like area of attack, which basically is a way of saying like, in like flight dynamics, the surface area at the top of your plane determines the amount of drag that you encounter when you like, turn, because you're going this way, and if you turn your plane this way, there's suddenly a lot of surface area hitting moving air, and also you're moving through that moving air. And AOA basically allows you to reduce the amount of that kind of air resistance, allowing you to make sharper fucking turns. And if it sounds kind of broken, it is. But it's balanced by the fact that even AI gets to use that system. So they can make hairpin turns while you're trying to shoot them. And they will! But you can also, do this and just like immediately change your course by up to under 90 degrees or more. Combat 7 had the, what was it called? Like the 3G turn. That like you could basically do the same sort of thing, but you maintained a proper course, like a velocity. And this one doesn't so much. It kind of slows you right the fuck down.
Looks like some sort of chromium containment chamber.
Control?
Says it's unstable.
Oh well, this is a my controller died.
Copy.
One moment.
How much is present? We'll have to keep an airship down for the cold war sensors. It's not anything we can carry out of here. Right, Wingman, putting the contact on the line.
Okay, now I can turn. Good thing I wasn't aiming down when my controller died.
Confidential by the Federation decree. Destroy it. Copy that. Ronan, exfiltrate. You heard that, Monarch? Highlighting a new target on your IFF. Blow it when they're out. Way ahead of you, Galaxy. You're clear, man.
Fuck your lighthouse. So I'm hitting a boat. Okay. And the boat looks like it's got portium. Portium being a new metal that erupted when the Earth went through that calamity, like stuff that was deep underneath the crust came to the surface, and it caused some shit.
Monarch, missile away. Objectives complete, Hitman. RTB at your leisure. Think the water's still alright? Still got sunshine by the time we
It's
RTB.
probably still good for drinking.
Oh yeah, me, you, and Flight Lead here, just running a little beach ball in a gentrified resort built from our blood money. Sound good, Monarch? Hold that thought. We've got inbound from due north. Same bearing as before.
God.
Fighters approaching the flight to your direct south. Flash ident or we will flag you as hostiles. Easy, easy. Flashing IFF. We're just the help. And by the looks of it, right to the bow of the posse. You hired by those mercs in the fort, bud? Past tense now, I guess. We got no beef with you. It's your business, I'm sure you guys understand. Put me on, Galaxy. This is Assassin 1, call sign Kaiser. I'm the leader of the Sicario Mercenary Corps. We do understand your situation. Sorry about losing your revenue stream, gentlemen. But you know how this business goes. Don't sweat it.
money came through from this contract, and our opportunities...
Cordium is very reactive.
Right up. If no one objects, and your contract with Sicario is still in effect, pack your bags. I looked a little into the Cascadian situation, and I believe we'll make a little something of ourselves there.
Okay.
Sicario is moving west, ladies and gents. Information coming out of...
Everyone's voice actor is great. Although some people feel like they're faking an accent, and it shows.
The Federation's been eyeing a takeover of Cascadia's resources for years, as far as I remember.
They have no idea what happened in South America. The U.S. has been split along the San Andreas Fault.
For those of you that don't know,
and shit got real.
Along North America's western seaboard, one of the largest on Earth, and one of the most prosperous due to its abundant natural resources and geothermal energy deposits. I've never been, but I hear it's beautiful. A country with limitless energy at its fingertips. I know some of us who were born out here in the periphery can't even imagine it, but I'm sure this hits closer to home for some of you. Moving along. There's a communications blackout both in and out of the country. And as far as the international news goes, nothing is going on except a few riots. Based on the mercenary networks, however, that is complete lie. A full-blown conflict is proceeding.
Capital conflict.
We've reached out and we're given a rendezvous by a Cascadian group called the Independence Force. The main anti-Federation group recognized by the national government.
Yes.
I presume the Federation has the borders on lockdown to stop people like us from coming in. So stay on our toes. We get found out by a patrol.
Confused. And this is like, I think, the other little grievance I have is that
Sicario
this
is moving
is set 400 years after the
calamity,
calamity,
independence.
which is why it's AC.
We don't expect
which is also
resistance given our route of ingress. However, each of our fighter groups will be pulling
but
shifts.
But 400 years after that time, we're still using planes
you will be responsible
made
for
before
the
the calamity,
which will take us over into Cascadia proper.
And like we have a lot of technology, but there's also like a limitation on like communication and trade. So it's like there's like vast amounts of improvements 400 years in the future, but there's also we're still kind of grounded in where we are now. If you were to like take someone from 400 years ago and bring them to now, you know, fucking 1623, shit would look so weird and wild. Like, yeah, like I understand that, like, you know, when shit gets very bad, you know, like when half the planet explodes, for no discernible reason, you kind of lose track of a few things. But I would say that there's definitely room to keep things a little strange, like a little foreign, a little alien, because it is still technically the future. Like if we have enough to keep aeronautics flying and even make improvements using Cordium, then we can probably improve a few other things. Alright, we're gonna stick with flares. AOA limiter is cool. Things get a bit missily. Alright, outskirts of the Yellowstone exclusion zone. God, I love that. That's a quaint little, simple kind of world building.
All Sicario elements maintain bearing. We have interceptors coming up the rear. Hitman and A-World Gunsel planes. Vector to intercept before they get close. Hitman 1, take point. We'll play backup. This is Hitman 2. Weapon safeties are off. Let's see how much Federation planes pay out.
Is our targeting system outdated to lock on Federation signatures?
I've had them programmed long before we thought about coming this way. Hitman team, you are cleared to engage. Alright, Monarch. I don't want to be the first to commit high treason, so on you. As of yesterday, all inbound flights into Cascadia have been cleared or diverted. Good tone, good tone. All Border Patrol units, send some demonstrating and maintain current angels. Copy. Requesting target bearing. Push 300. Target to the head. Weapons free.
This might actually be worth my time.
Looks like it's true. The Federation is weapons free in Cascadia. Even when we crossed into other Federation states illegally, they didn't dare open fire on us.
Oh, hello.
We were expecting friendly
Well, Project Wingman.
Not an aircraft fighting group. Good gigs. We're sending an inquiry up the wire. Stand by. Missile is tracking. Monarch, the enemy's locking onto you.
Yeah, they'll do that. Yeah, let's just get this guy. It's in front of me. Let's kill him.
Hitman 1 locked on. Monarch opening fire. Target on the nose. Monarch Fox 1.
Okay, well, we got one of them, that's fine. This game still allows for jousting, you just kind of gotta be a little more head on. It doesn't like to tolerate jousting, not as much as Ace Combat does. I think Ace Combat definitely made a whole game about Thurian Legend. Made you have to literally joust the final boss of Zero in order to win, so, I think they like it. This game, not so much.
Monarch missile shot. Launch missile. Enemy down. Good job. That Flight 3 is feisty. Adjust appropriately.
Feisty. That's my favorite fucking thing to be called.
Taking losses. Do we already kill on this on standby?
Come on. Yeah, both you fly up.
Runway 6.
Amazing.
Kill confirmed.
And amazing.
What data we can gather, you're engaged with a private security corporation called Sicario. We need specifics, Command. It's a smaller sized mercenary group that specializes in aerial operations, active along the periphery. We're still combing through the records, but it's thin. We're not equipped to deal with them. Send reinforcements. Copy, stand by. Mercenaries, huh? I bet we ran you lot out after Oceana. Damn, the wheel is down. Looks like these other black mercenaries carry work into Cascadia. Roger that. Moving to intercept. Fasu, fasu.
I need another? Yes.
High value target down. We got Galaxy?
We just lost contact with Blue Squadron's flight in this area. Destroyer Espadon, advise disengagement. We've got eyes on the perpetrators. Only 2 small flights. We can take them.
On the perfect flight is.
Into screening pattern Alpha. Federation airship tagged and marked. Hitman team, this one's all yours. An airship doing intercepts? What the hell is the Federation so afraid of?
Logical deduction says it's us. Now buck up. We're taking this thing down.
Monarch,
yeah.
good luck.
This game also has fucking air cruisers.
Missile away.
This whole time I was bitching about sci-fi planes and they brought one in. Actually, they have like 3 classes of them. If you like one thing about Ace Combat 6 being the big old fucking airships, they got that.
They're in my sights. Monarch, good luck. Taking damage.
Yeah. Hey, dick, this thing's expensive.
Monarch, good luck. Monarch, good release. Fox 2.
But yeah, Jinx is talking about how great the fucking Diplomat and Comic are. Because they're fantastic. Every... Oh yeah. Your teammates help. And you don't get as much money if they do the killing, but they still help. But yeah, every flight sim that's like Ace Combat style relies so much on your wingmen, wing people. This one does it so good.
When the night comes, how do we return home? By midnight flight. Confirmed. Welcome to Cascadia, Sicario. Follow us. We have a temporary landing strip set up for you mercenaries.
Yee. I intend to stream until about 11:30, or at least until the what's the word? The gummy kicks in. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Also, the fact that you can tip your plane forward is like in these comic games you land, and as soon as you like go to turn your flaps downward, which is what planes do, they're like, oh, you mean you could just clip your nose on the ground and detonate.
Thanks to your efforts, Sicario was able to rendezvous with our contact and refuel for the mission ahead. You'll be heading back out within the hour, so stay on your toes, or else your time in Cascadia will be short-lived.
There's like 20 missions. I don't want it to be short-lived. We're on 3.
Hello, Sicario. I'm Captain Griffiths, otherwise known as Stardust. From now on, I'll be your point of contact with the Cascadian Independence Force. I was a National Guard pilot when it all went down, and now I'm working with you. We're pressed for time, so listen up. Cascadia's prosperity, our natural bounty, has always gone to support the world. For the last few decades, we have done this by our partnership with the Pacific Federation, providing aid and infrastructure to the less fortunate internationally. The Federation, however, in recent years has used the resources we provided to forcefully expand by conquest and military strength. We could not let our cordium or geothermal deposits fuel this war machine. Cascadia as a nation sought independence from the Federation outright, in order to prevent the Federation from imperially expanding further. Unfortunately, they turned against us. They have seen fit to unify and federalize Cascadian infrastructure as a whole. When we resisted, they turned the country inside out. We refuse to let that stand. So, here's the plan for you mercenaries right now.
In northern Cascadia, Rosedower AFB was a joint base used by both the Cascadian National Guard and the Federation.
I know AFBs.
When
That's
hostilities
go,
took off, however, the
bastards.
Federation seized the base from the National Guard. Your objective today is to take back the base into our hands. Hitman Team will lead aerial operations, wiping out any anti-air defenses. Circus, our transport aircraft carrying Sicario's airborne troop element, will then vector in and drop onto the base to secure it.
Take care not to damage the facilities too much during the attack. Sicario and other mercenary elements will be using this base afterwards. I'm sure you want to operate from an actual base anyway, as opposed to some dirt strip. So let's get rolling.
Alright. I get to capture an airfield. It's one of my favorite things to do. I say that because I had a college roommate way back in my undergrad, and we were joking about making a airstrip, like not a comic strip. Oh man, I'm close-ish. The comic strip would then, of course, be about like just 2 mercenaries having a good old time. Like, you know, we were heavily inspired by Army of 2. Sure, that was not snapping at you. Go back to sleep. Army of 2 being that third-person shooter for the Xbox 360, where they have two, soldiers for hire that are also pretty witty and fun. I would recommend that game. I don't know how well it's aged, but it was fun at the time, especially co-op. You have to do co-op, because if you do it by yourself with like AI, it's super sad. But one of the running jokes we wanted to make in that comic strip was just like, you know, the two guys are like, oh man, you think that mission is a thing, you should see us capture an airstrip. And never, ever show how they do it, and just leave everyone to form their own kind of like theory about how these two mercenaries would capture an airstrip. Like, this is, you capture an airstrip with like artillery pieces and heavy equipment and shit, and they're just two dudes, private contractors with like, you know, handheld weaponry and stuff. So we always would make that joke then in the real world, because that's what inside jokes are for. We're just like, oh man, you should have been there. Oh man, you should see us capture the fucking airbase. And so now I play games, and now every time that they ask me to capture an airbase, I'm like, hell yeah! Hell, even Daemon X Machina, a Armored Core, another AC-based property, or inspired property. Daemon X Machina has you capture an airbase, but this time with giant robots. And that shit kicks ass so hard. Daemon X Machina is a game I didn't stream at the time, mostly because we didn't have the set up at the time. It's also kind of hard to watch, because if anyone has ever played old, like, Armored Core, it is frenetic. It is sometimes very hard to follow. It's almost like they intentionally make it hard to follow, just by virtue of, you know, like, how you say it? It's just that. But if there's a lot of like strafing and zooming and, you know, aiming around, and like, of course you can do it and the enemy can do it, and the enemy's always better than you because, you know, computers don't have to worry about fucking analog sticks and shit. And so yeah. Wow, shooting today, huh? Oh, hello, Jared. Did you hear me tell a story? You didn't get your nails trimmed. Oh, shit. Alright. Let's see here. There's some boats down here that deserve to have some work done. How did that miss? Oh yeah. Other, like, last complaint I have about this game really is there's too few NPC lines, so you will hear, sometimes you'll even hear people saying the same shit, but it's different voices saying the same shit, and that's weird. There's a game. This actually comes with a mode called Conquest Mode, which is how do you say? It's a arcade style mode where you basically go and capture all of Cascadia, and each region, each map is its own like goal. And so sometimes it's like, defeat a certain amount of score, or go after priority targets, or, you know, whatever. And as you do more work, you gain more notoriety. And if you do that well enough, you start getting faced off against much, much worse shit in rapid succession. Not limited to, but including, harder airships, enemies with railguns, missile clusters, experimental aircraft. Yeah. And then when they run out of advancements to give it to you, they just do sheer numbers. And like when you're in a volume game, oh my god, it's sucking. too down, but, you know, let's not praise. Yeah. Trying to dodge the rain is a fantastic comparison.
Ground asset destroyed.
Oops. You gonna try to shoot me, friend?
Hard rock, let it fly.
No?
These Sicario fellas ain't that bad. The hell are you talking about? They're taking all the dough. This is circus. Take that away. Go. Let's take this damn airstrip. You know, I'm impressed with
Yeah,
what
let's.
you're paying for this contract, boss. Especially since we're going up against the Federation. You should realize you're all this time with this galaxy. The bigger the foe, the bigger the story.
There he goes again.
I'm not in this for the money, remember? I'm here for history.
Well, the rest of us are here on binding contracts. So please, just don't get us killed, boss.
That's up to you. We don't have the firepower to take them on. Mark 3! Cover surface! Just where the hell are you guys?
Yeah, at least, like, you know, it's unlike Armored Core, they don't charge you whenever you fuck up. In Armored Core, they charge you for ammunition and health, like repairs. And that's just rude.
Hitman 1 locked on. Target down.
Hopefully in Armored Core 6, which I am getting. There's a 1000% chance of that. There's no way I'm not getting it. I've heard fantastic things about it. FromSoft has gotten their shit together lately. Like, from what it looks like, it's kind of like the combat mechanics of like Dark Souls now instead of, you know, Armored Core, which is definitely a fucking doozy. Yeah, and it should be probably better balanced encounters, designed more intuitively and not fucking in sheer opposition. There are ways to design opponents in video games that are difficult and challenging, but not like perfectly as a well-organized militia would. So there's some level, like I played Armored Core 4. Is one I bring up because one I played it. I didn't play like 1, 2, or 3. Oh shit! Right, there's enemy squadrons and they give you their health bar, which is cool as shit. And they have theme songs. Yeah, I didn't get very far in Armored Core 4 because it was just fucking unforgiving. Like this is back like, you know, like early days. Like I think it was a few years before Dark Souls even came out. And that was very much a time when they didn't quite understand that you're making games for people, not for yourself, Miyazaki. But Miyazaki didn't direct Armored Core. There was some other person who didn't quite get that, like, on paper it would make lots of sense for, you know, for like, you know, an army to like really plan and strategize defense. While also being like part of like the future and having a much better understanding of like the technology. You know, like I've just come into this land, this realm, this setting. I don't understand even like what the fuck makes the robots work. So I am not the most effective when it comes to like actually, you know, executing and knowing the limitations and strengths of different fucking robots. And like what they have, right? That's a thing. But they do know. And so, shit gets real bad because like, it's like Mission 1 was fine. Mission 1 was actually surprisingly easy. remember, mission 1 gives you like a false sense of confidence. You're like, I can do this. This is fine. I'm gonna advance and get their little ATST walking ass doofuses with machine gun bullets and easy to dodge missiles. This is fine. And then mission 2 is like, it really encourages you to like, have like a sniper rifle, which on a big robot's cool. But not the best. And then, you know, then you get to mission 3, and everything you've understood about Armored Core 4 in 2 missions, you're like, okay, so the best thing I can do is not get hit because it's a sequential story. It's not like you pick different missions and get paid and you can like rerun missions. It's not like Monster Hunter. Daemon X Machina literally has like, you can just replay missions in case you want to find like graffiti to put on your ship, or like get different weapons because you can pick up weapons and parts off of downed enemies. You can build up an armory. So if you want to grind stuff out, if you need money to research stuff, that's fine, that's cool. 4 was like, mission 1, success, your grade. Statistically a C or a B. You get a rank bonus, the number of enemies defeated, how much damage ammunition you use, you know, that minus all that, you know, taking care of your shit issue. And then you get a total amount, and it's like, okay, mission 2. And it's like, do you want to go to the shop? It's like, I'd love to go to the shop. Let's see what you got. And everything's really expensive, and also written by like early FromSoft people. So it's not the best translation, and it has no idea what the... Oh, I have to land. It doesn't like tell you what anything means or like what's useful for you. So you kind of go through. Am I landing on the left or the right? I'm just gonna land on the left. And so like you can do shit like Armor Core, at least classic Armor Core was like you can buy weights to put on like different sides of your robot to like oh no, we are landing. Where like you can put on the right side and it makes it so when you go to turn right you turn faster. Or you put it on the left side, so like depending on which way you like prefer, or like the weight of the equipment on each, because they count for fucking part weight, so you can have like big guns on your shoulders, and if you have like a larger gun on your right, you should put a weight on your left to balance it out so you don't like tilt, because that's a thing that they thought about. And so like you're like, what should I do? I need a new gun? I don't know if this is a strong gun. Like I don't know what they're using, so I can't quite figure it out. If like I need to upgrade my weapon, or if I should get a different frame. I don't even know what my play style is right now. And you're not really given a chance to explore because it's like get in, be fast. Your grade depends on how fast you are. Fucking go. And so unless you've done this before, or you have someone like, you know, like where it was me in Dark Souls, where someone's just like, yeah, you don't want to put points in resilience or resistance. It's really not worth it. You should focus on like endurance and vitality. I'm like, why endurance? Like, so you have more stamina. Because stamina is used for everything. I'm like, oh, cool. But like Armor Core it has the same kind of issue where you look at the numbers and you're like, does this help? Is this something I should prioritize? Should I be min-maxing in this or no? And it doesn't tell you. So I get to mission 3 and I cannot get past mission 3 and I don't want to fucking restart because it's not like I can buy anything from the shop to make me better. It's not like me doing it a bunch gives me more money, because like even if I do my best with limited equipment, you know, you get an A and you can like buy a gun. Is it a gun you'd like? Well, given how mission 2 goes and how there's a bunch of enemies on a fucking bridge that snipe you when you get out of the way of, you know, out of the cover, and you have to shoot them first, it's like, how do you approach? It doesn't fucking say. Maybe from a bud? I don't know. But I didn't get very far. All that to say, I didn't get very far. So, I do certainly hope that now that, you know, FromSoft has like 20 years of development experience, they've gotten better idea of what they're doing, they got better staff to design these kinds of encounters.
However, Sicario is currently one of the only
I hope it's better. It seems better, and tragically, I just dropped like $700 on tuition, so I don't have like the money to get like the cool. There's a fucking cool collector's like edition that has like a hanger with a robot in it, like on top of like a steelbook case, art book, pins, soundtrack. There's also a like huge figurine of the robot in the hangar.
And because
and
of
I
that,
want it,
Sicario
and
will
it's
be
like
deployed immediately.
$500,
Several of our
$600.
units currently in need of support.
Hitman team, you will be deployed
I
to an
have different.
agricultural
I
area
also
to the
still
south.
I don't have a
One of the
PS5.
Independence Forces surviving battalion.
So it
has
looks like I
been
play on the
driven by
PC,
Federation
which is good.
Presently,
But it's not coming out for that right away, and the edition that has the giant robot isn't for PC.
The Federation is
So-
currently engaged using air
Yeah,
and ground units, so a
now we are at a
multi-faceted
vineyard,
loadout is suggested. You might catch
trying
the
to
Federation
clear
off
out
guard,
bullshit.
However, anticipate retaliation in short order.
Yeah, I
Launch
would like
and
you to get
lift
your
the
house shit
siege.
figured out, just in
If
general.
that battalion falls, our forces won't have enough manpower or command to organize again.
Alright, we're under siege. Let's unsiege this shit. This might be the time I use a different plane. I think I'm gonna use the F-18. Oh, by the way, I want you guys to know this right now. There is it this one? This plane is nothing but guns. So there's the MGP, the HGP, and the CGP, and the RG. The P stands for pod. All the G's stand for gun. So you get machine gun pod. I think it's like their high power gun pod, cluster gun pod, which is like a shotgun, and railgun. I tried playing with this a bit, and holy shit, it is wild. And like, it's super agile, and so like you're trying to aim with this plane, and it's, yeah. Boats, guns, and gunboats. Yeah, call signs and everyone's names will, yeah, so you don't, when you operate, you don't call people by their names, you only use their call signs. So that way, you know, the Federation and all their power doesn't fucking kill you. Let's see here, what we're going through. Yeah, anti-ground. Yeah, especially with homing, that's pretty good. But that's pretty cool. Geometry's pretty cool. Desert, classic. Stripes, cool. Borderlands. What we got here? Graphics card glitch or extremely digital camo, and tiger or leopard print. Hell yeah. I liked. Yeah, I think I liked it too. The geometry print on the wings. Yeah. Let's go. I also still need to play Demon Souls and Elden Ring because, yeah, those are. I also need to play Sekiro. I think when we had to update everything, it didn't keep our donation tracker. So I don't know how far we are into dropping Sekiro. Maybe it doesn't, like, we didn't stream long enough, so like it erased it. We were up to like 382 out of 500. But the whole premise being that you, if you donate enough money, if you donate up to $500, which it's donate because we don't keep the money. When we hit the payout, we donate to a charity. I don't know which one we're donating to at this point because we haven't streamed in several years.
Right, as far as the eye can see. Hey, Dad, you were the privileged kid. This place put out anything good?
It's been over 10 years, Mick, since we've been in Cascadia. I'd have no idea. Galaxy the Hitman team. I'm
Yeah, I can't remember our charities, but we donate to charity.
You're free to engage any Federation signatures starting
So if you
now.
donate to that point, and we hit $500, which whatever the fuck that is, I stop whatever it is I'm doing and play Sekiro, which was really great at the time when there was a PS4 and a PS5 just sitting around. It's not so great now because now it's a matter of just trying to. You're responsive. Okay. It doesn't matter if I don't have the best PlayStation I have right now is a PlayStation 2. And I think I'm going to do. I made my decision on these things, and my decision is that I'm going to do Nostalgia November. So when I go to replay games from the past that I've already beaten, besides this, because this is a space combat style game and I want everyone to experience it in its full glory and beauty, I'm going to do it in November. October for Oxenfree. Oh yeah, there's spooky game. Do you understand how less fun spooky games are when you're not with someone who gets freaked out? You'll see more freak out on my end. Like I'll probably get a little more freaked out because I'm in a house alone with two cats who like to make strange noises, especially unprompted. But yeah. Some of the issues making the fact that I don't remember what our itch.io games are, and I think I can pull them up. I should be able to, but I'm unsure. So hopefully we can still play Oxenfree. And also probably some of the other games that we wanted to play, and then the computer wasn't strong enough to stream it and play them, like that one fucking, traveling the Serengeti game where you like change water flow to save or kill certain animals. Minutes. We should be able to do Minute now, I think. I think I understand our software enough to do Minute, because before it was like, it's so small, it's like 128 pixels, like up. So it would show, like the window that's like a 4K, and there's like little nuggets of a window. Tank. Get down on that hill up there. Yes. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, you. Oh, boo. Okay, that's cool. I'm working on it, dude. Get off the case. That's and I know once I break this up, there's a whole other fucking set. This mission's kind of long. But it's cool. It follows the rule of
Missile shot off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. But hey, I dedicated a few days to Pikmin, I can dedicate a few days to this. It's so funny when I got out last night. I opened up the streaming window and was like, you've been playing for 5 hours. And I'm like, sweet fuck, haven't I? I forgot I started playing at 6:30 and then played until no, it was like 7, yeah, I played until 1 or 2 in the morning. And then I made brownies. Yep, there they are. Yeah. I was up till 3 in the morning. And people liked the brownies today, so it's not like it was a mistake. Break them. Hell yeah. It's good. And it only feels good because they're not actual people. They're zeros and ones. So it's not like a big war thing. Get him? Hell yeah.
Those mercenaries might save our asses yet.
Oh, by the way, the pitching went fine. It was precisely as uncomfortable as things like that kind of generally are, where it's like half of us are coworkers and the other half were the hosts. old coworkers from Catalent. And so, like, it was basically a conversation between, like, all the work, my work people, and the others who were just kind of there. But it seemed like they were kind of introverted anyway. So, you know, it was fine. They have a cat named Bones, and Bones isn't fucking chill, like, at all. Bones is like, you can pet him once. And I was like, I don't believe in that. I pet cats until they tell me to stop. And even then, if they like to play, I also like to play with cats. That's a life choice I make, and it's fun. What they meant was the fact that Bones likes to play rough, which I can manage, you know, raise kittens, raise puppies. But boy, apparently he's got a strong history of causing problems with people's skin with all the biting and nails. So it basically went down that I started petting him. He started getting, you know, we'll say handsy. And I was like, okay, haha, fun, let's go. And he was like, no, you don't understand. Don't. And I was like, oh, well, I can stop. Dan was like, you should stop. I'm not saying you'll have to go to the hospital. I will say that it's going to be very uncomfortable if he's allowed to continue. Like, he might go for the face. And I'm like, fair, I shall stop. So yeah, then I stopped petting the cat. And he was like, okay, cool, that's great. That's exactly what I wanted. Which, you know, great. I like making animals happy. And then I looked at my arm. And boy, howdy, did he get in there. The kind of like, I immediately went and washed my hands kind of thing. Can my missiles do some work, please? I don't need to kill you. One day I'll get the money for a missile cluster plane and absolutely just fuck things right up. Some notable little new pores put in. So, also they had a dog whose name I believe was Violet. Violet only knows how to love, which of course, precious baby. But it kind of presented itself with the how you say. Approaching when unprompted to provide more love than was permitted. You know, pibble love, where it was like she would make laps around the living room and just make sure she got pet by every person at least once. Yeah, it was very cute. By the way, it's like wild to see a vineyard burn.
Think those mercs accept tips?
But
It'll take more than that to convince me.
yeah. So you gotta make laps and like everybody come over and love and lick again, you know, without any prompting. And then she'd jump up on my on the couch or on my lap and I'd be like, stop. The word is off or down. And I said that, and the most authority as I could, and it landed about half the time. And then she'd make the lap back and be like, is it still downtime? Because you'll have to tell me.
That's what we're doing now. No big deal, right? Right?
Keep your nerves on you. Monarch seems to be playing out just fine. Ain't that right, Lee?
Well, Monarch's Monarch, and that's besides the point. We're home. Been about a decade, but we're back. Fighting the goddamn New World Order.
But yeah, there's just conversations. I got to remind people that the tunnel scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory
Good job.
Involved
General Elizabeth reports your tactical support
involved scenes of that were relatively fucked up, including but not limited to claymation dinosaurs fighting and watching a live-action chicken get its head cut off.
Stabilized our territory. Being able to maintain proper military formation in territory means
they were like, no, and I'm like, I haven't seen the movie in like a decade and change. I remember that shit distinctly. And then we pulled it up on YouTube and yup. Those are absolute things that people thought were fine to put in a fucking movie about a dude in charge of a chocolate factory.
We didn't think we'd need you mercenaries.
Yeah, it happens. They absolutely decapitate a chicken like it's like live footage.
Bloodless invasion of the Federation.
And then some fucking like clay T-Rex and Stegosaurus start fighting, and one of them dies. And else there's like a few. There's not like any images or depictions of war, but it wouldn't feel out of place.
Among them, a massive Federation Navy fleet has secured a foothold in the
we
capital.
watched that, and
Independence Force
they were like,
planned this
I
rebellion
think
to have been
what happened, we
enough to
all
seize,
learned this kind of like, you know, when people, like, when someone says something like, oh yeah, I also noticed that, and then we all came to the realization and experienced it. Family Video would censor movies, and so like in Kingsman, there's that one like, I'll say crass joke where like, you know, the Danish princess is like, if you get me out of here, I'll let you have sex with me in a place people wouldn't normally, and, you know, like the actual terminology. And he was like, oh, and then at the, like the post-credit scene or whatever is like him and the thing getting her out of there, and she goes, and he looks at the camera, and it goes to credits. But in Family Video, they took that out. They took those two scenes out. And so like, we were talking about it because somebody was like, I watched that, and then I feel like I was like having a stroke because I remember there being those scenes and they didn't show up. So like maybe I missed it because my brain literally blocked out. No, Family Video just removed it. We're gonna go provide help to the capital. Because Presidia needs fucking help. Because the Federation's a bunch of douchebags. How much money do I have? Oh, I'm so close. 300. No, that's not it. It's that. Oh, I'm not close at all. Oh, I'm close to that, but I don't want that. No. I want the PW Mark 1. It comes with a fixed loadout of standard missiles, the BMLU, which is the missile cluster, and then it comes with a railgun. And god, that shit's fucking fun. Alright, so we're gonna go semi-active and MLA, and I remember there being some ground forces, so we'll go for the pairs. And we'll go blue this time. Yeah. Kingsman was such a weird fucking movie, and then I kind of want to see the second one, but I also don't really care.
On the nose, Sicario. Seems like the tactical retreat is in full swing.
This is the other one.
Monarch good release. Fox 2. tone, good tone. To all units left in the area, remember, if you need source, your first call sign is Chesterfield. The enemy doesn't have substantial area to mark, so cultivate is necessary.
We have troops still left in the city.
Hitman 1 did a job. They stayed behind to cover our retreat, so let's not waste their sacrifice. Monarch got another one. They're in my sights. Ground target destroyed. Enemy's getting radar locked.
Yeah, they can do that.
Exterminating with extreme prejudice. We can't allow any rebel to get think about returning.
There we go. Alright, show me the problem. Because I know we ain't done. There we are.
Positive tone. You're on the money. Nice kill. We're investigating now. Remain on station.
Yeah, they've done a good job planning this game out.
Civilians should be
And
evacuated.
it's a Kickstarter game, so they probably were able to get a lot more than they were anticipating.
Engagement.
You know, there's like a lot of like big game studios, like the way that this production planning works. There's a lot to do.
Better make my place in it.
Elizabeth, can we graciously when we still have the air superiority? We're using this time to sabotage roads and waterways out of the city. Evacuation operations are going well. Search on Flyboy all to line. Just a recommendation, General. Hitman 1 Fox 2. Enemy plane shot down. I'm engaging. Those damn militiamen are complicating the battle space. Someone get a read on who they are. Monarch shot one down. Enemies on my scope. This is fighting on. Hitman 1 Fox 1. Outboard actual.
This thing's usually do very well.
In downtown Presidio. What should I tell them? We can't do anything for them. Tell them to dissipate and evacuate by any means possible. Tell them I'm sorry. Good luck. Copy all.
God, there's so much to do.
We can't even see where they're coming from. What are we doing about those planes?
Stand by. We're routing a solution team.
Sir, could you say that a little less whiny?
Hitman 1 Fox 1.
But they're coming! Ah!
That's one units of specialists are early evacs. We won't make it long without them. All units be advised that Presidio police forces are experiencing infighting. Engage only if necessary.
Figure out where you're going.
It's on the way. Positive tone.
Boom.
Stacked up.
Think you can give up? Can you give up? Hell yeah.
Canadian National Guards who remain loyal to the Pacific Federation. Be advised to turn to assigned frequencies to maintain radio security. I've got another angle.
I feel like there's probably gonna be another set of airships.
Command, we can't hit our targets. Those birds in the air are keeping us back.
Stardust, Sicario has secured its area separately. What's the call?
I don't understand where they come from. It's like, that's like in the middle of everything. Not really. Airships are not known for being the sneakiest pieces of anything. Like, look how big they are. Okay. God, this is busy. Oh my god. Oh, it's like something on like the prow of the ship.
We're still getting hammered by enemy air. Copy all. We'll send reinforcements as necessary.
Maybe it's like self-power stuff. Maybe. It could probably be like E2 stuff where it's like it just flies quiet, which it doesn't. You can hear them. And maybe it's got like the stealth stuff. I feel like just like if you were, you know, it's like if you're flying an actual plane, stuff doesn't show up like in big green boxes in this kind of space. So like, you can only really tell planes are there because they stand out from the sky and the ground. Which is why the camouflage is so good, because you're like, am I looking at fucking mountain range or am I looking at a plane? But like, they have a huge fucking visual profile, like, look at that. So if I was looking at downtown when that happened, I wonder if it would just be like, and then they just showed up. How many missiles I can get.
You've got a good lock.
Yeah, I'll do that. There's like little planes. There we go. Look you. You.
Fox 1, Fox 1. Incoming missile, Jake.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Infinite flare is just a cooldown timer. There you are. That one.
You're on the money.
Yeah, this thing is like, it's a super accurate missile, but you gotta keep them in the box. Good one. There we go. Oh, there's another standalone plane. Damn.
Ground asset knocked out. I've got a good tone on him. Stacked up.
It sounds almost like kind of like the way that like dudes talk about like the chicks they're hitting on. It's like, oh, I got good tone on him. You know, check out the tone on that guy. Also, you don't have to know much about planes because this is set in the future. Anything's possible. So it could be space plane business. I hate how they're getting the kills for the air cruisers because I'm breaking all the parts and then they shoot the air cruiser.
Hard lock, let it fly.
Nope. Nope. Oh, that hit? Wow, really? Okay, bud.
Fox 2, Fox 2. You're in gun range.
Also, the amount of times I've died by running into an air cruiser because they have fucking collision.
Fox 2.
Other planes don't. Like small scale planes, you can fly like head on into, and it's generally fine. But those air cruisers are basically the equivalent of a mountain in the sky, and if you hit one, you just explode. And so I think the amount of times. Also, it's like loud because you're in a plane with a bunch of jet engines behind you rattling the frame and shit. So, you know, can't sit there and think that these planes are all that stealthy on their own. in the plane. But yeah, I think at least 5 times did I like fly directly
Stacked up.
into one of these things. Usually it's speed. Like I'm just making a turn and the one's just in there. There's a law, like it's a kind of like a rule and understanding of flying, like with planes, is that it's called like the big sky rule, or just like kind of a sense of understanding, which is you know, when you're working in 2 dimensions, you know, you have a lot more chance for intersection. Motherfuckers, I was gonna break that. You have a lot more chance to hit things. Like, that's just a fact. But in the sky, adding the 3rd dimension makes it so it's much harder for there to be a true intersection of 2 points, given that there's now also up and down. So, yeah, the fact that I continually run to things in the sky is a testament to just like, that rule is cool to rely on, because then like, general idea of airspace is that there is a lot of room to work in. You know, that like, you just kind of like make sure you're not like in someone's bubble of influence, which is smaller than like, it's about it's several hundred feet above and below the plane. And then like for however long around, it's, you know, given the speeds you're going, you do need a bit of time for warning. But I can't believe that I continually run into shit. And it's not the ground, which makes perfect fucking sense to hit. Don't hit that wall to get mad. Did I break the rules? I broke the rules. Or is it over? Did I break it? Okay. Oh, thank God. I was worried that I'd like tippy-toed after outside the allowed point. Show me how much I get paid.
Thanks to you, casualties sustained during the retreat were
They robbed me of 1,200
We lost
points just from
contact
air
with our final
cruisers
units
alone.
within Presidia.
You get
We can only
3
assume the
fifths.
worst. We just have to remember their sacrifice to cover our escape. During the evacuation, we airlifted some of our most experienced fighters, along with Federation defectors and civilians who wanted to join up with us after seeing what the Federation did to Presidia.
Yeah, fuck the
We're at the
Federation.
brink right now, and losing the capital was a blow. But thanks to
It's
you,
very
we can
America.
survive
The
this.
more I'm learning about like
Stand by for your next orders.
colonial America, or even just like 20th century America, where they just, yeah, we'll gladly help set up this kind of a system with you. We can get the things that we want to get, and you can get the things you want to get. You know, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna go ahead and just skip this because we're gonna watch it when I stream next, which should be tomorrow. But yeah, so. I was saying something before that. It's not super important. Either way, yeah, I intend to stream tomorrow. Oh yeah, that's right, the Federation's all will help you and we'll get you all the stuff that you want, and then the moment that, like, I don't know, let's say Guam or Hawaii or Panama or Puerto Rico, we're all like, oh, this system doesn't benefit us very much. We would like it back. You know, we kind of like want to keep our stuff. This is a big thing that was also like the East India Trading Company and I think it was the East British Trading Company. They were like in competition with each other. Both did with their colonies. Were like, you know, they went to India and Malaysia because that's where like all the spices were. And they're like, yeah, we can work out a deal. You know, we'll bring you cool stuff from our end. We get all your spices. We may take your land. We want you to work the fields. And they're like, well, this sucks. You know, after like 100 years, they're like, this, or not even 100, it's like 50 or so years for some of them. And I'm like, this really sucks. And so they start like, how about we make it so we keep the spice and we sell you the spice, and then you give us money and also stuff for that, because if you want fucking mace or cloves or pepper, you gotta go through us. And they're like, well, I have a wild idea. In like India, it was saltpeter. Like India had like really good saltpeter because saltpeter is just like when poop is left to the elements, like really high nitrogen poop, which there's a lot of in India because they have like bats and stuff. It turns into saltpeter, which is a key component of gunpowder. And so the British were like, yeah, let's go ahead and just get all that good saltpeter, and we may or may not make it so that way you get to live. And then when India was like, fuck that, it caused some problems because, well, think of the implications when Britain owns all the gunpowder ingredients, and then they start waging war with, like, the French. They kind of, like, made money because they were selling gunpowder to the French, and the French were paying a lot for it because they were at war. But so like Britain gets the money and also controls how much other people get. But then when India was like, fuck that noise, and they had a big old revolution, there was like something going on. I think it was like called the War of 1812. It kind of threw some things into whack because the British were like, we don't have as much gunpowder, and we can't control much of anything. Shit. So it's a fun story. Either way, the Federation's doing the thing where like, yeah, we'll help you with all your stuff. You got all these trees, you got cordium. Yeah, we'll work it out. And then the places are like, can we get like a fair share of that? And they're like, fuck you, war. Yeah, I cannot I cannot recommend. I'm holding up my phone because it's a podcast called Behind the Bastards, because it is informative, funny, and just like it's a lot of good information that helps for like social justice and understanding like what's going on in the history behind people like Alex Jones or Richard Spencer, Jordan Peterson. Right now they're going after, like, his name is Eric something. He's the guy who founded Blackwater. What is the military contractor? Eric Prince. Yeah, he founded the private military contractors that caused a lot of the fucking issues during the Iraq conflict, starting in 2001 and onwards. Yeah, it's good. It's a bit depressing because of the subject matter they talk about, but there's like one whole there's 2 episodes that talk about like how like the Nazi movement has been in American history for a long time, and then the next episode they go over like whether or not punching a Nazi isn't like right morally. It's more of a matter of, is it effective for stopping them? Because you look at like the history of like how the Nazis came to power in Germany, and you talk about like different influences for people who like are the alt-right now, who are doing like the right unite the right rallies and stuff. Like what works, what is helpful. Does punching Nazis help stop them from being Nazis, or does it only inflame opinions against your cause because you look as though you are the aggressor against respectful white boys? So yeah, that was a fantastic episode because they had like, like a black man on there who was talking about like his idea, like I always punch the Nazis because Nazis want me fucking dead. So the things that they say are existential threats, and so I'm going to knuckle up. And then they got other people like not Jordan. His name is Robert Evans. He like was like a war journalist, and he went to like the Ukrainian Revolution 2014. He's done war coverage, and he's like, I don't know, because I love the idea of punching Nazis, but I have seen what can happen. It stops individuals from coming out who do not want to get punched, but it also changes public opinion. So either way, point is, you should listen to the podcast if you like podcasts. And if you don't like podcasts, I'll happily tell you about anything I've learned, because that's what I've been putting on while I've been cleaning. So, yeah, I went on a bit longer than I wanted to, about 7 minutes longer than I was anticipating. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, let's turn the mouse on and actually get out of here. Yeah. If there's conquest mode, but let's exit. Yes.